What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Morello Show, episode number 23, the Jordan episode. So
Oh, let's
this
go.
is going to be the GOAT. Obviously, it has to. Of course, my name is Kyle Morello. I'm your host. And with me today, very special guest, Tyler Schmitt from 1:37 p.m. Tyler, how we doing?
I'm doing incredibly well. I'm excited for this. Thanks for having me on. It's been a long time coming, and I'm
Absolutely.
happy we were able to switch it over to Zoom and get it proper.
Yes. Google Meet was originally the plan, but I'm new to that, so it's okay. I appreciate your flexibility. So thank you for
Of
that.
course.
For those of you who don't know, Tyler is also the co-host of the Card Talk pod. I didn't think I was gonna say that right off first. At first, tongue twisters, crazy. But yes, which is a podcast that I'm a fan of, and a podcast that you all should tune into first and foremost. But second of all, it's a sports card podcast, which is a topic that I've been longing to talk about on here. Sorry, do on my channel, and everything like that. So I'm really excited to get into this, Tyler. So let's do it. First and foremost, everybody has their own different stories of, how they got into sports cards. Obviously, being a sports fan is almost a prerequisite of that. But what was it for you? What caught your attention for sports cards early on?
So for me, growing up, Pokemon was a huge thing for me. Very big Pokemon cards, but didn't collect sports cards as a kid. Wasn't a thing that I was into. I was born in 91. I'm currently 30 years old, but I can't say I was like a collector or a baseball card kid growing up. But I work for Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm working for him for 8.5 years now. And for the better part of that, I operated as his assistant and chief of staff and kind of right-hand man. And so he got me into sports cards. I booked a trip for him to go out to Cleveland, actually, where I'm heading this weekend for the NBA All-Star game, to the National Sports Card Convention in, I believe, it was either 2017 or 2018. And he went for the next year. He was kind of like bubbling. He was always a big sports card collector growing up. He was a big trader and all that. So it was bubbling up. We talk about it. And then pretty much that summer, so I think this was 2018, summer 2018. He hits me up. He's like, can you go on eBay and buy this card for me? That set off a string of about pretty much, I would say, 6 months where multiple hours a day we just talked sports cards. And so he introduced me to it. And then I went to the national the next year, and that national, which was 2019 national, more or less changed my life in terms of understanding arbitrage and markets in that regard, understanding that, oh my goodness, like one dealer on one side of the room is selling a card for $20. The other dude on the other side of the room is selling it for $15. And another dude selling it for $30. And someone just came over to me and told me they bought it for $30. And I'm like, but they don't know about the dude down there that's selling it for $15. And so I just realized they kind of, this is sweet. From an arbitrage game trading, there's a lot to learn in it, and that I now apply to other parts of kind of my career. So that's how I got into sports cards. Gary Vaynerchuk.
Love that. And I'm a big Gary Vee fan, as many of people who know me know. So love that. And honestly, that's, I think, part of the reason why I kind of got back into sports cards. I mean, I had always been a sports card fan from when I was little. My dad used to collect when he was young, and then I started collecting too. I used to I would buy packs of like football cards or baseball cards and then make teams out of them, like through those packs, and just like collect
Yep,
them. I
fire.
was a sports nerd when I was younger, and I still am, and I love it. But I
Who's
kind
your
of like,
favorite team?
I'm a Mets fan. So Mets, Jets, Rangers, and Knicks. To
Chris Kreider, baby. I've been
Chris
buying Kreider.
Kreider.
I've been buying Kreider cards.
Really? How's that?
Yeah.
Is the market good for them?
He's having the hottest year of his career. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
is the market good? I don't know. Is he the leading goal scorer in the league? Yes.
Yes, he is.
He's my favorite player. Like, since he came into the league and couldn't stop in the playoffs coming in from BC, I've loved the dude, number 20. and just we were playing around on Card Talk. We were like doing, let's do everyone start a PC, and I was like, I got to start buying Chris Kreider, and he's been on fire. And so it's one where I'm like, I don't even care how the market is. I'm enjoying collecting them.
I mean, that's very, very fair. And that's like kind of the one distinction like now I feel like when it comes to people who are like into sports cards and flipping and all that is yes, there's ooh. Oh, you just brought
So
out
what's
you just brought out the 10
there's
graded card. That's amazing. Wow. Love that. But
keep
yeah,
going.
no,
Sorry, I cut you
no,
off.
it's okay. People, I feel like there's a difference between people who collect to, flip and make money, and then there's people who collect just because they have their favorites. And there's also obviously a combination of the two. Do you kind of like see yourself where you're more doing it to flip
Both,
or collecting
both,
both?
both for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
both
no, go
have
ahead.
to coexist. I was saying I think both have to coexist.
Yes.
Like uh, not everyone has to do both, but you can't really write one off without the other.
No, I absolutely agree. I mean, even a personal example from the last card show I went to was the Philadelphia card show at Valley Forge Casino in King of Prussia. It was about
Nice.
2.5 months ago.
How
Me
was
and
it?
it was a lot of fun. I got there a little late, but it was a lot of fun. My one friend was there from like 9 in the morning until like 6 when we left. So he put in a shift that day.
Nice.
I was
It's
there for a
work.
few hours, but like for me, I was like, all right, I don't want to spend more than like $200 when I'm there, which I think is fair.
Mm-hmm.
So I got an
Mm-hmm.
RJ Barrett, SGA 9.5. I got a
Fire.
Pete Alonso PSA 10, both rookies, which I love. Um, and then I was like, okay, why don't we take a little gamble for like the flipping side? So I bought, and I hate to say this because it didn't turn out to anything. Um, I bought a $90 like mega box of, I think it was Optic Football. Um, maybe it wasn't. It was something where like the one with the Kaboom. I forget the brand right now, but
Yep.
I was searching for a Kaboom and I didn't get one. And the best card I got was like a jersey. It was a Jaguars rookie. I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but not Trevor Lawrence, of course. But it was
What's your favorite? What's your favorite card to like collect?
probably Mosaic basketball, honestly. I love
Yeah,
Mosaic.
Mosaic
That's the one I
basketball
got.
is
That's
fire.
the one I got for RJ Barrett. I love mosaics. They're just so.
Nice.
What about you?
Mbappe,
Mbappe.
Kylian Mbappe. Yeah, it's my guy, man.
I mean,
Really my
listen,
guy.
that's a good one to have. He's still really, really young, and he's one of the best players in the world.
Exactly.
So
Balling.
do not blame you whatsoever for that. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, I guess going back to like the card shows and whatnot, you had mentioned a little bit earlier. I know you've been to far bigger ones than I have. I've only been to a couple, but what's kind of like for someone who's just starting out, maybe doesn't have a lot of money to spend, what's kind of your strategy when you go to card shows? Like, do you just go through the bins? Do you look at graded cards that are people are showcasing? What is kind of something you do when you're there?
If I was going to a card show on a limited budget, I would for sure be going through buy it now boxes, buy it now raw boxes. And I'd be looking to get volume and deals. And you got to know what you're looking for, to be honest, whether it's set based, whether it's player based. You got to have a thesis. You got to kind of come up with a little bit of a plan. I always write down literally in the notes app on my phone. Um, I write down like plays that I want to make. So I'll sit there and I'll be like, okay, what? I think Mario Lemieux's a good one. I think Mark Messier is a good one. There's not many Mike Richter cards out there.
It's
So like this is
unfortunate.
what I do. Like and I kind of just start to think like, okay, who's someone that I like playing like either nostalgic early on, whether it's comic books, Street Sharks is a thing that's on my mind right now. Um, so you got to start to come up with some hypothesis and then put them down on paper of plays that you want to make. Because if you don't do that, it's very easy to become incredibly overwhelmed by all the potential possibilities and you steer off. And that's where you start to, if you're on a limited budget, you can just see something and be like, I got to buy that. And it throws your whole day off.
Oh, absolutely. And like I think that's the other thing too. You kind of mentioned there's all these different tables, and it does get overwhelming. There's a lot of options at card shows, especially when you factor in like the boxes and the packs and all that other stuff. It can definitely get overwhelming. So when you're collecting, whether it's at the shows or you're on eBay or you go to a store or whatever it is, what would you say your favorite part about the hobby in general is?
My favorite part about the hobby is the relationships. Sounds corny as hell. I've made some really good friends. My favorite part about Card Talk is getting to hang out with Ryan and Lou and Jay and Judy and Courtney for, I'll say 75 minutes because I'm typically 15 minutes late every Tuesday morning. Um, my Instagram and Twitter is all filled with fun DM conversations with people that largely don't have to do with cards, but about sports and culture and hobbies and life and jokes and all that. But we have the similar interests of around cards, and that's been the most rewarding and fulfilling thing for me over the last 2.5 years. I'm fortunate and grateful based on my proximity to Gary that I have some awareness around what I do. Card Talk's been fun, and it's been great to link with people such as yourself, especially when I go to shows. Um, Especially when I go to shows, meeting people in person is the best.
The camaraderie of it is all just really fun. Like I remember when I went to that show with my friends a couple months ago, just talking to the vendors and just chopping it up about sports and maybe talking to other people who are in line to, look at stuff. It's trying to think of the word for it. It just feels really, really cool to, have that connection with people. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
And doing deals with people, like there's a business school, this notion of the MBA, Masters of Business Administration, I believe it is. Everyone can be their own business person in the hobby. You don't need to, you don't even need to have an LLC for that matter. You don't even need $100. But if you go to a show where you just negotiating and deal, there's just so much to learn and so much good education that can come from it. And that's, I think, what's really, really, really fun.
Absolutely.
There's,
And oh no, sorry, go ahead.
there's people I've done deals with that I've sold them cards that they made 2x on. And there's people vice versa that we laugh and have great relationships. And it's like, yeah, I just think you can learn a lot about business in the hobby and relationships and how to do ethics, business ethics as well, because you'll get exposed if you fuck around.
Oh yeah, it's a very important lesson. And that was kind of the other thing. One of the other things I wanted to ask you too was I've seen it where you go to card shows and people are negotiating and, the prices that are there aren't always the prices that sell for. You can get deals. How much of that should someone keep in mind when, they go to card shows or they go to card stores and whatnot?
Say it one more time.
Like when you go to card shows or stores or garage sales or whatever it is, and there's a price listed, like how much negotiating do you think one needs to be prepared to do to know how to do when you go into situations like that?
It's funny. It's very funny. I think that if you listen to Card Talk, you should always ask for less. Like if it's a sticker price and you're at some of these shows, right? Whether it's a trade show, whether it's not necessarily a five and dime shop or dollar shop, but yeah, you have to learn how to negotiate. You have to learn. There's so many nuances to all types of business negotiations. Meaning, you can't walk into your local grocery store, walk up to the cash register with a thing of milk, and be like, "Can I get this for $1 off?" No, because there's a social construct around that. Like they're just going to say no, and that's passed down. And you learn that as a kid because you go to the grocery store and you see that your mother, father never asks that. So you know that. Well, if you're going to a show for the first time, you're probably just going to walk up. Someone says $70. And you're going to say, here's $70. They're going to give it to you. You're going to walk away. And the dude said, damn, that was an easy sale. And then you're going to see you're gonna walk up to the table and you're gonna see someone else say, "Oh, it says 70. Would you do 50?" And you're gonna look and be like, "Oh shit, I didn't even know that I could do that. Okay, let me do that." Go see something else. I see you have this for 20. Would you do 15? When they say yes, it's like that $5 might well be in a billion, bro. You're like, I
you're
just
celebrating.
work that dude. Like, let's go. $5 off. Now extrapolate that over actually building a business. Da, da, da. And so I think that's what just I love about it is it's business and sales and relationships and negotiations all mixed in one. And it's based around sports and like
Can't beat that.
just can't beat it. Yeah, I just love it.
Absolutely can't beat that. And like I remember so I used to live in Michigan. When I was in Michigan, there was a card show there that I went to, and there was a seller that had a Ronald Acuna PSA 10 that I was interested in. I think it was selling for like 140, 150, something like
Mhm.
that. It was a Bowman first, and they also had a Kyle Lewis raw rookie that I wanted. I was like, "Would you do 130 for these?" And he was like, "Okay." Or maybe I went a little lower and met in the middle somewhere. But it's like you said, like that feeling when you just save 10, $5, whatever it is. It's a great feeling. I don't even think there's a whole lot.
Amazing.
It's like something you
Amazing.
can't even
And
explain.
some people do it, to be honest. It's like my mom using a coupon. She loves that. She's like, yo, we got a coupon. Let's go use it. And it feels great. Like I use the coupon. Uh Now think about if you learn that in business and arbitrage and sales and how that can then impact you when you go to work at an organization coming out of college or middle management, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
It's a very, very interesting tactic that, people should learn before they maybe get into the hobby. Because it's a very important part. Going back to what was I gonna say? The mind farts right now. So like for the market for cards, right? Obviously you
Mhm.
have certain brands that are worth more, certain, years like rookie cards and whatnot that are worth more than whatnot. Can you kind of explain like why it is the way that it is? Like why is a mosaic, basketball card more than a Topps basketball card, for example? Like something like that.
So mosaic and tops aren't really, it comes down to brand positioning, price points, supply, you know. Why are Nike Air Maxes in a higher price point than Skechers?
Just kind of like the quality of it and the perception around it.
Yeah, it's brand positioning, marketing positioning, right? If you're a card company, you have to have everything from a luxury product to a mass market product and everything in between. And then the amount of supply is also a thing. The color, the quality, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Very, very true. Very, very true. Personally for you, do you have a favorite card, favorite couple of cards, favorite collection that you have going on?
Yeah, I actually just took some pictures of my Mbappe. See the sick goal yesterday.
Yes, you did.
I got this Neymar gold kaboom right now.
Wow.
That's pretty fire.
It's an impressive card.
That's a pretty dope card. Mbappe sticker 9.
Love that. Wow.
I got a D book right here. D book or silver. It's pretty fire.
Very fire. Prism. Love that.
So
Prism's a great
those are some
card
of my,
too.
yeah, big time.
Prism's a great card. I am having so much trouble remembering questions right now. Don't know why. Crazy.
That's all good, brother. All good.
So I guess for the podcast, what is a few things you guys really stress? I mean, obviously I know, but for the people who don't know, what are some things you guys really stress when you're on there? What do you like? Do you talk more about cards selling for a certain price? Do you talk about more like hobby things? What is for people who don't know, what is something that you guys really emphasize on your show?
What's something that we on Card Talk emphasize?
Yeah, like what's a common theme that you guys, talk about a lot?
fun,
It is a lot of fun.
honesty, doing things the right way, thinking long term, being realistic, following your passion, etc.
Following your passion's a very, very important thing, I think, in, in the sports card world too, because, like, kind of like I said, you buy cards that you're people who are a fan of, and you want those collections, but also you don't want to lose sight of, when you're like flipping and stuff, you don't want to lose sight of the reason why you get into the game in the first place, which I think is
Yeah, and once you start chasing things that you don't believe in, but like just for
just
money,
for money
you're gonna lose every time.
every single time. And besides
Yep.
sports cards, is there like other things that you love collecting, like, Pokemon, I know you mentioned, or, things
Yeah.
that,
Here, yeah, I like collecting a ton of stuff, bro. This is on my desk right now. This is like a candle holder.
wow,
This is by this really cool artist, this Danish artist, Bjorn Vinblad.
Hmm.
I guess Vinblad. He does a lot of work with Tivoli Gardens, which is actually Tivoli Gardens was the inspiration behind the original Disney World.
really?
It's an amusement park in Copenhagen in Denmark.
Hmm.
This is my flask. I
Love that.
got this guy on my desk. He's
What
like
is that?
a Bud mascot
Huh.
smoker dude that some dude gave me at a show one time. Um,
You really do have a whole collection on there.
oh, this guy. I got this guy.
Wow.
Let's go. This is Roadrunner. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's Roadrunner.
absolutely.
Um, this is something called a Hoptimist.
Optimus. So what's a
It's
hot?
like a little. It's like a little tchotchke. A Hoptimist is this toy that pretty much it's this Danish design that it's like this spring-loaded guy, and you just touch its head. I don't. This one's in the box because I'm giving it as a gift. And the
Okay.
other one's back at home. Um,
So you just love collecting in general.
I collect stickers. Yeah, I just love collecting. Yeah.
It's a really fun hobby. It really is. You can go
Yeah,
to shows.
tchotchkes. My mother would like, I don't know if it's a Scandinavian thing, but like I just grew up around tchotchkes all the time.
Tchotchkes.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I didn't know people collected like a whole ton of them. I mean, I know, tchotchkes are popular, but I didn't know people collected
Yeah,
them like
but
that.
people have stuff.
People do have stuff. A lot of stuff. I mean, obviously people will collect besides cards.
Are you doing anything in NFTs?
I am not in any NFTs. I don't know a ton about that. I would like to, just because to be informed, but how about you?
Yeah. It's again collecting. Like I'm paying attention to it a lot. I'm active in the space, having fun with it. It's been great.
Well, I know Gary Vaynerchuk's big on that. Is that something that he kind of brought you up on, taught you, or is that more of kind of your own education?
Same deal, to be honest. I mean, like we're family, we roll together, so it's all one and the same.
Wow.
So I mean, he's been an amazing mentor, an amazing boss, but he's a brother and friend, and so yeah,
I guess it really
he
is the
definitely put me
relationships.
on. Yeah, that's what it is all about, the relationships.
Wow. I absolutely love that. I guess kind of last question. Well, I guess two questions. One, what's the favorite thing that you've collected besides like cards? Because we were talking about cards. I want to favorite tchotchke.
I was a big sneaker collector for a while. Like I got these right now on display. These aren't anything special, but I just like I have these out to like look at.
Oh, ones.
Oh no, there's some these are some dunks, some SP
Oh,
dunks.
okay. My fault.
No, you're good. Let's see what else I got.
Those are very cool though.
These are Travis is a little bit out of style now, but
Yeah.
I collect sneakers.
Wow. Those are very impressive shoes.
I guess you could say I collect dog toys because my girl's puppy has a shitload of them.
My dog be collecting toys too. Don't you worry. And
Yep.
then one last question. When you go back to sports cards and cards in general, the market's kind of like shifted a lot in the last few years, especially when the pandemic and people didn't have anything to do. Where do you kind of see it going forward? I know sometimes it has its high points and its low points. Where do you kind of see it, moving forward the next 3 to 5 years, let's say?
I see a lot of innovation. I see continued demand. I see new products and better product positioning coming. And I see a symbiotic nature between physical and digital collectibles in the hobby.
Yeah, honestly, that's not even something that I thought about was digital sports cards. I mean, obviously, I know about like NBA Top Shot and all that, but I did not even think about like Topps baseball cards being NFTs, for example. That's a
Yeah.
very wild thought for where we are now, but would be very, very interesting to see in the future. Hopefully I can get my hands on some of those soon because that would be very, very cool. But I think that's all I have. So Tyler, thank you so much for coming on. I really
It's been
appreciate
a
you taking
blast,
time.
dude. Dude,
Absolutely.
23 episodes.
Yes.
Congrats, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's been really fun. Love interviewing people like you and other people that I've
It's a
had on.
blast.
It's so much fun. And because you have a podcast. So it's
The best.
it's so fun. But thanks again for coming on. I really do appreciate it. And thank you guys as always for tuning in. I love that you guys do that. Thank you so much. It means the world to me.
Appreciate you.
Yes. And make sure you check out Card Talk.
You
We're
had
gonna
it.
Card Talk Pod. We
Correct.
got it. It's a
I grew
tongue
up
twister.
listening to Car Talk on NPR with my father a lot. So as a little hat tip to that.
There you go. There you go.
Yep.
All right. Well, again, thank you, Tyler, so much for coming on. Thank you guys for listening. As always, more on the way. We are not stopping here. We stopped for a little bit before. We're not stopping in the future. So I will thank you
Let's
guys
go.
again. I will see you next week.
Peace.